Hello YouTube, this is NASCAR 48 WW2 Buff here with the INORL Duracell Cup Series Gatorade Duels practice. This practice will see what duel you're in, and we already have a car coming out of pit road here, and it's Eric Burton, a rookie. We haven't talked about him much. He failed to make the Bud shootout, but a lot of other rookies did, so he's not the only one. Only 5 rookies made it. He's racing with Stuart Haas this year with his teammates Charles Sanford and Gene Sanford. And man, he's already up to speed already. He's looking forward to maybe winning his Gatorade duel and maybe starting on the pole or the outside pole. He says he thinks he has this one. Well, the Gatorade duels are one thing, but the 500 is another. And he's gonna come and take his first lap here, finish off his warm-up lap, and he's gonna hit the line. And as I was saying, if you're in the top 21, you will be in Gatorade duel number 1. If you're in the bottom 21, you will be Gatorade duel number 2. Remember where you finish. It's not my fault if you forget what duel you're in. Just come back to this and we'll find out. We have Charles Jackson in the 29. He's a season 1 veteran, and he's coming back for season 2. Last year he was in Roush racing the number 97, which is not a car anymore. And he came to RCR after losing that ride since they took away that car. And he's now for Roush in the number 29 Jimmy John / Budweiser Chevrolet. He was in the Bud shootout, finished second by so close, 0.044. That's a very close second. Came so ever so close. George Roque was able to pull off the win over him, but he's looking forward to the Gatorade duels and maybe pulling out a win. And he's gonna have the second fastest lap to Eric Burton's car. Then we have Tyson Broad, another rookie. We haven't heard much from him. He's going to be in the 83 Toyota Camry for BK Racing, Burger King Racing. And he's in a little 3-car draft here with Trek Tolger and James McLeod. He was not able to make the Bud shootout, but everybody's in the duels, so maybe he could pull out a win. And right behind him is James McLeod, another rookie, joining the 5 team this year in the Farmers Chevrolet. He did not make the Bud shootout also, and he's just hoping for the win a Gatorade duel, but he says his car is not the fastest. They're going to try to make some major changes on that car today. Then Trek Tolger's right behind them in the number 42 Target Chevrolet. He was in the Bud shootout for being a veteran, and he did pretty well in it. He was about, I think, midfield finish. And he's coming back for season 2, possibly trying to get his first win. Then right up here is Jacob Sisko. He did very, very well in that Bud shootout. With the 1-lap shootout that was left after the caution, he started on the lead. But you know, when you start on the leads here with the 1-lap shootout, you drop like a rock. There was nothing he could do, 3 wides and all that, and he just fell back to 9th. But at least it was a top 10 finish. That number 73 Mountain Dew Dodge. And here's Dale K. Like I also said, he finished 3rd in your points for season 1, and he's back for season 2, staying with RCR, but moving to the 31. And he's gonna try to pull up a win here in the Gatorade duels and possibly the 500. But you guys will just have to stay tuned to see if that happens. And here's Richard Johnson, Seth Cole, and Brian James catching up to him and gonna pass him easily. Richard Johnson missed the Bud shootout, so close, just missed it, but he's automatically in the Gatorade duel and in the 500. That's all that he cares about right now, and he's hungry for a win. Then here's Brian James. After being reinstated to the INORL, he came with a blazing fury to all INORL series, especially Nationwide series. Eventually he took the points lead in that. He finished 2nd in the Nationwide Series race here at Daytona, so he knows how to get around these 2.5-mile tracks. Then Seth Cole, he's another new rookie. He failed to make the Bud shootout, he ever so close, just like Richard Johnson, just missed the Bud Shootout. But he's here today, gonna see what duel he's in and try to pick up a duel win tomorrow. And here's Tristan Chivett, the fastest driver in practice for the Bud Shootout practice. Got into the Bud Shootout, but then with about 5 to go was involved in a wreck, and his chances were pretty much done. Right here behind him is Zachary Buckeye and Dillon White. Zachary Buckeye was not in the Bud Shootout, nor was Dillon White. But they're gonna try to pull a two-car tandem here, but it looks like they're trying to figure out who's gonna go in front and who's gonna get behind. But they want to see what duel they're in. Will we see two RCR cars like these two hook up and possibly try to take the win in the Gatorade duels? And right there behind him is Joseph Bryant, Sean Henley, John Wilson, Wilhelm Shultz, and Fritz Lukenture. Joseph Bryant also failed to make the Bud Shootout in that number 21 Motorcraft Ford Fusion, but hopefully he could get something in the Gatorade duels. John Wilson was in the Bud Shootout. He was pretty quiet in it, but he got a very well finish. And because he's a Season 1 veteran, and he's coming back for Season 2, but this year with MWR. Then Sean Henley, he failed to make the Bud Shootout with that number 88 Dye Mountain Dew Hendrick Chevrolet. But remember, the Hendrick cars were very good this weekend. Could that mean something for Sean Henley in the Gatorade duels? Otherwise, messed up, fail right there. The Daytona 500, not the Bud Shootout. Then Wilhelm Shultz, he was in the Bud Shootout. He, well, not the greatest day for him. He randomly retired for unknown issues that they do not want to release. And so we have no reason why he retired, but he was in the Bud Shootout. For some reason, they do not want to release information. Then we have a little 6-car pack right here. Between the 9 of Jeffrey Buckeye, Aaron Williams, Austin Ogo, Sam Young, Caitlin Skipper, and Jake Baskinger. And whoa, Sam Young gonna make it 3 wide, and whoa, Jake Baskinger way up, and Sam Young almost got turned by Caitlin Skipper. Jeffrey Buckeye failed to make the Bud Shootout, but he has big hopes for the Gatorade duels today. And whoa, they were slow and way late for Jake Baskinger. Austin Ogo also failed to make it. Sam Young made it. Sam Young made the Bud Shootout. Did pretty well. Almost had a win. Finished, I believe, 3rd. Yeah, 3rd. Finished 3rd in that race. Took the lead coming off into turn 3, but George Roque made it a 3 wide, and George Roque pulled out the win. Congrats to George Roque. George Roque is actually running 10th right now in practice, and Sam Young is your fastest car in practice again. Remember, in the Bud Shootout practice, he led almost all of Bud Shootout practice. Then at the last second, Tristan Chivett barely beat him. Oh, whoa, we have a wreck! Heavy smoke, Dillon White! Wilhelm Shultz! That's not good. Heavy wreck, Dillon White, Wilhelm Shultz. Wilhelm Shultz, heavy damage. That is not good. And whoa! Drew Austin hard into the wall, and there's cars flipping out. Dylan Young, Eric Burton through the grass, and whoa, they gotta slow down for Wilhelm Shultz. They might hit him. Whoa, George Roque in that Packard Bud Shootout winner. They gotta slow down. Will Wilhelm Shultz make it to pit road without getting wrecked here? But he has some heavy damage in that number 13 Geico Fusion. Dillon White looks like he just took a spun. And I'll just show you that wreck real quick. We're back. I was expecting this. This track gets some troubles coming on the pit road. Just Joseph Bryant's trying to slow down. No, actually, whoa, let me get a better view of that. Actually, Dillon White clips a piece of the wall, which knocks him down in the Wilhelm Shultz, and they go right in to Fritz Lukenture, which Fritz did a good job at keeping that car together. Dillon White goes around. Actually, no, Fritz hit that outside wall pretty good. Sean Henley gonna escape. Then Fritz is gonna come back down into his good friend Wilhelm Shultz, and around they go. And that's how Wilhelm Shultz got the worst of his damage. Sean Henley gonna sneak by Wilhelm Shultz, and man, he was lucky no one else hit him. Just sitting on the track, vulnerable like that. So what happened to Fritz Lukenture, how he saved it. Looks like after he spun, he just still had again, he's gonna pop up into the outside wall here. Does a nice job of not hitting it as bad. Still clips it. And gets by. Let's take an onboard with Sean Henley here, because he had a good view of that. He was lucky he escaped. Let's see what happened here at Daytona in our Gatorade duel practice. Oh, so very lucky that he escaped that, and just his heart probably just skipped a beat right there. That could have ended his day. And I'll take you back to the regular practice. And we are back. Wilhelm Shultz still limping around the pit road with that heavy damage. Looks like he's gonna be done for a while. Dillon White has no damage, it appears. He was lucky for that one. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Jacob Lawler, he made the he made the Bud shootout, and with 5 to go, he was also involved in that wreck. He got a piece with Tony Blazer, and around he went. Not much damage, but it killed his chances of winning the Bud shootout. Here's Leo Rogers. He's with Penske. Penske had a great start to the season on winning the Bud shootout, because George Roque won the Bud shootout, even though Leo and Jake Rogers missed it, but at least Penske got that win in the Bud shootout. Then here's Dion Scott, the leader of the all-time win list for the INORL Duracell Cup Series with 5 wins. I mean, can you believe that? 5 wins. Dion Scott, he brought it to season 1. 4 of those were points wins. 1 of those was the All-Star. 5 wins. Missed the chase though, because pretty much every race he did not win. He DNF'd. So you still got to be consistent though. So he's hoping to redeem himself and possibly make the chase this year. Wilhelm Shultz coming on back out on pit road with his backup car. That means he's gonna start in a backup car for the 500. Same with sorry about this. Fritz Lukenture, he's gonna start in a backup car, and they'll also go to the rear in the 500. It's not what they want to have happen. Here's this pack right here. Dillon Young joined this pack. Dillon Young was in the Bud shootout, and well, Dillon Young did sorry, kind of lost my train of thought right there. So sorry about that. Dillon Young was in the Bud shootout. He did pretty well, and he was able to pick up a pretty good finish. Aaron Williams was also in the Bud shootout, but he was caught in that wreck, that one wreck right there. He got slammed in the driver's side door, and his day was done after that. And Jean Sanford making her INORL Cup Series debut. And at number 10 for Stuart Haas Racing, with her brother, who's also in Stuart Haas Racing. Sanford's, they're going to team up with Stuart Haas. Jake Baskinger's out in that 18. He did not make the Bud shootout, but he's hoping to maybe pull out a win here in the Gatorade Duels. Wilhelm Shultz back out, and he'll have to go to the rear for the 500. You make every race in the series, but if you get in a wreck in practice, you will. This is only for the Daytona 500. You go to the rear for it. Any other race, you do not. And everybody makes the 500 also. So they're allowed to grab a 3rd backup car if they need it. Then we have Seth Cole and David Rochester right here. David Rochester was in the Bud shootout. He did pretty well. He was, I think, your outside pole sitter, I believe. Charles Sanford was your inside pole sitter. Or your pole sitter, actually. Jace Allen making their debut in the 98 Best Buy Chevrolet right there also. And this is, I think, the biggest pack. Whoa, Seth Cole gonna push Jace Allen to the bottom right there. And Tony Blazer, he's in this. He's doing pretty well in this practice, 17th. He was involved in that wreck that got him to finish his day, and he wasn't too happy with Tristan Tribbett. I'll tell you that, because Tristan Tribbett completely just put him hard into the wall. Jack Richards was also involved in that wreck. Hit Tony Blazer head on. Wasn't the baddest hit, but still hit him head on. Jake Rogers failed to make the Bud shootout, but he's doing very good in this practice session so far. Olga was fairly well in the Bud shootout practice. Didn't make the Bud shootout though, but it is what it is. So they're coming here today trying to win the 500 or the Gatorade Duels. Then this man right here is on fire. George Roque races his way in to the Bud shootout and wins the Bud shootout. The rookie wins the Bud shootout against a field of veterans. That's showing that he doesn't want to be a rookie. He wants to be a veteran. And people are probably going to have to put up with him this season, because I have a good feeling about this kid. Rochester coming back out. Chris Dollerton in the 16 for Roush Fenway in the 16 3M Ford Fusion, running 20th all by himself. That's not how you're going to make it time. So he needs to find a partner. And here's another pack. It looks like Fritz Lukenture R also back out. Drew Austin was solid loose on turn 4 and slightly scrubbed the wall. It looks like he came down pit road and fixed it, banged it out. Dillon White came back out, maybe fixed a little bit of back damage, but Caitlin Skipper, your season 1 champ, running 3rd in this practice session, was in the Bud shootout, got a piece of that wreck, and that just ended her chances of winning the Bud shootout in that number 48 Lowe's Chevrolet. Then William Duncan and Jacob Sisko working together, two good friends. William Duncan working with Jacob Sisko and Tyson Broad, and Robbie Noonan going to join. Robbie Noonan was in the Bud shootout. He had an okay day. Stayed out of trouble, and that's all you pretty much need to do for the Bud shootout. Unless you go by the standards, wreck it, checkers or wreckers. Kyle Snowski was in the Bud shootout. He got a piece of that wreck on his left front quarter panel. Didn't really hurt him, but he didn't have much of a chance to win anyways. Here's John Wilson, Richard Johnson, Chuck Taugert, and Tristan Tribbett. Yeah, I think you might see a rivalry between Tristan Tribbett and Tony Blazer throughout this season. Because Tony Blazer was not happy with Tristan Tribbett for completely just turning him with only a couple to go. Then Aaron Williams and Charles Sanford and Zachary Buckeye going to join us. Charles Sanford was your pole sitter for the Bud shootout. He went to Stuart Haas this year, and he's racing for the 14 Mobile One Chevrolet. Mobile One and Office Depot Chevrolet, that is. Sam Young is still the fastest in practice. He has just dominated the practices in Daytona. Well, but will we see anybody just ever so slightly beat him at the last second, though? Here's the biggest pack once again. It's like an onboard with Olga right here. This appears to be the biggest pack. I guess a lot of cars are just trying to stay out of trouble so they don't have to go to the rear in the Daytona 500. And the thing is, if a driver who had to go to the rear for the Daytona 500 ends up winning the Gatorade Duels, they'll still have to go to the rear. So the person finished second. Oh! Eric Burton into the wall off that corner. And same with Jake Rogers and Jack Richards. They're gonna have to fix that. That will not make them go to the rear, but they will have to fix that though. Or at least repaint the car. And here's I guess the next biggest pack. Looks like Chris Dollarton, Jacob Sisko, and Tyson Broad are starting to catch up to this. As we have 45 seconds remaining in this practice, it will probably allow drivers to finish their laps up if they're not finished. Man, just Sam Young again, just dominating the practices. Dillon White coming back out. Jeffrey Buckeye all by himself. Here's another pack. Let's go to Sam Young here and see if his lap holds up. He has Austin Ogo right there behind him. 19 seconds remaining for him, plus probably 45 more. And Sam Young came ever so close to winning practice number 1. I guess you could call it, but wants to win practice number 2 here for the Gatorade Duels. Looks like he's probably going to be in Gatorade Duel number 1. Yep, in 45 seconds, just like I remembered. Sam Young and at number 28 Arm & Hammer, sorry about that, Arm & Hammer Camry, doing pretty well this week, the speed weeks for Daytona. He has a win in the Nationwide Series, so he knows how to drive these stock cars. And he's ready to get going. And Austin Ogo is second. He has a pretty good shot to win the Daytona 500. He's done pretty well throughout these couple practice sessions. Wasn't able to make the Bud Shootout, but he's still doing pretty well. Charles Sanford third, and Jacob Sisko fourth, and Tony Blazer fifth. Tony Blazer trying to come back after wrecking in the Bud Shootout. But the Bud Shootout cars do not matter. You do not have to go to the rear for wrecking in that, because those are specialized cars that they brought to the track. George Roque, our Bud Shootout winner, in 7th, so he's working his way. Looks like he'll be in Gatorade Duel number 1. The edge between drivers in Gatorade Duel number 1. Oh, and we're done! Who got in? Who did get in? And Brian James and Up got in. John Wilson ever so slightly missed out. Barely missed out. But it is what it is. Sam Young is in Gatorade Duel number 1. Austin Ogo, Gatorade Duel number 1. Charles Sanford, Gatorade Duel number 1. Jacob Sisko, Gatorade Duel number 1. Tony Blazer, Gatorade Duel number 1. At this point, I'm just going to say number 1. Zachary Buckeye, number 1. George Roque, Gatorade Duel number 1. Aaron Williams, Duel 1. Caitlin Skipper, Duel 1. Eric Burton, Duel 1. Olga Ogo, Duel 1. Jack Richards, Duel 1. Jake Rogers, Duel 1. Tyson Broad, Duel 1. Leo Rogers, Duel 1. Kosnowski, Duel 1. William Duncan, Duel 1. Jacob Lawler, Duel 1. Fritz Lukenture, Duel 1. Robbie Noonan, Duel 1. Brian James, Duel 1. And everybody else is in Duel number 2. John Wilson, Richard Johnson, Sean Henley, James McLeod, Wilhelm Shultz, Drew Austin, Chris Dollarton, Andreas Allen, David Rochester, Seth Cole, Joseph Bryant, Gene Sanford, Dale Kay, Charles Jackson, Dillon White, Deion Scott, Chuck Tolger, Dylan Young, Jake Baskinger, Jeffrey Buckeye, and Tristan Tribbett in Duel number 2. And wow, about this, Tristan Tribbett, fastest in Bud Shootout practice, slowest in Gatorade Duel practice. That's different. Will it be a strategy? But I will see you in the Gatorade Duels. NASCAR 48 WW2 Buff signing off.